right. Well, thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode of Vampires of the Masquerade. I am Thomas um, Hunter. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay, hello again. Hello, everyone again. Welcome back to a bit of a long-awaiting session of Las Vegas by Night. I am your GM for the night, Hunter, and here we have our players. Uh, let's see. It doesn't seem to be working. This screen doesn't seem to be working for me. But that is our game session for tonight. So, how about we go over the players for tonight? Tommy being Thander,
Hello.
the the slightly out of touch but still very powerful vampire slash, supposed in this case, agent. Along with him are the magnificent Derek Bergnom and the Empress Heaven Darling. Apologies, but for now, it seems like Whisper will have to sit out. We're having problems getting in contact there, but we will work with what we have.
Died. Sorry.
Very good. So, to recap from what happened earlier, as what has been discussed early on, the single murder that took place in Las Vegas has now increased to 2. And now all of Las Vegas is in a muster.
I thought you were going to say in the morgue.
Well, I guess that works figuratively and literally in this case. But,
everyone in Las Vegas is in the morgue.
Right. And as things are heating up, your agent with the Anarchs, Marcus, sees that it might be a good idea to get you back up. So Fender has been sent over to the big casino Olympus, where he is to reunite with Dream. Whisper. I always to reunite with Dream, as well as to meet with the other 2 agents to help out with this operation, those being Derek and Heaven Darling.
So my question would be, who's driving me at this time? Like, is it dubstep?
Well,
or is it from new guy?
Well, from where we left off last time, Dubstep had already dropped you off at the location.
Okay.
You were just now outside of New Vegas. Or no. Oh, sorry, Fallout's on the mind. You were just now outside of Olympus.
Okay. So then, what I'll do is I'll sit outside for a short little period of time.
Hey, Tommy, real quick.
Yep.
Could you try and pull up the stream right now?
Yeah, I've got it up right now.
Is it playing for you?
Yeah.
Maybe just messing up on my part. Okay, so
I can hear just fine.
Well, I mean, like the stream on Twitch.
Yeah, I can hear it fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Just keep playing, dude.
All right, sorry. So you start strolling into the Olympus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a heavy crowd all around, but you manage to squeeze your way in through.
Okay.
As you go through the doors, you're just greeted by gold in the entire vicinity. It is a large amphitheater-like room.
Oh, okay.
And you see people scattered about in the entire casino. You see some people over the corners with slot machines and other people playing along some tables, some playing 21, others playing poker, others playing craps. You name it.
Okay.
And in the very far off towards the end of the casino, you can see what looks like a stage, and you see a man performing some very, very dangerous magic tricks.
I'm going to approach and see what kind of acts are being performed by this uh, wild magician. See what kind of magic tricks he's throwing around.
All right, you
'Cause in
start
my 200 to 300 years, I've seen some magic tricks.
All right, you start making your way over, and Derek, can you hear me?
Yep, just fine.
All right. So you are in the middle of one very illustrious trick right now. In this case, you are shown in front of the massive crowd as they're cheering for you, and a coffin is being levied over to you by your assistant. As a cheering slows down a little bit, everyone awaits your announcement.
Right. Let's see. I think I did the announcement last week, but basically speaking, going into the spiel about how it's impossible to escape and having the helicopter be slowly filling with water. So I'm going to basically walk in there, wave to the crowd as I do so, check my makeup, make sure the fake tanner isn't running and making it too obvious how pale I am, and then I'm having my assistant close the coffin and put some chains around it. And if we're starting at a 30-second escape timer.
Ooh.
All right. So as you get inside the coffin, doing so very illustriously, your assistant poses in front of the crowd, a wide smile on her face, until the lid closes shut, and then she grabs a chain, just wrapping it around the coffin. And then the crowd ooze and gasp as they see a large chain go down and hook onto a small iron ring on top of the coffin and start to lift it up. You feel the coffin shudder as it's lifted up and sway as it's moved over to the pool of water. And as it hangs over, it starts to lower. And from a bit of pressure hitting from the bottom of the coffin, you can tell that you're being dipped and sunk into the water. The crowd continues to murmur among themselves, some looking nervously as the coffin gets more and more submerged.
Okay, I'm not holding my breath because I don't have any. As things are happening, and as the timer hits down to 5 seconds, I'm going to use some of my vampiric strength effectively to burst the coffin open and step out to bow.
Nice.
Hazel down there begging.
And the crowd gasps and shrieks a bit in terror when they see that the coffin starts budging in the water, before finally the coffin bursts open along with the side of the pool as it splashes out, hitting into a lid on the edge of the stage so that nobody gets splashed. As this happens, you very flashily step out of the coffin, arms outraised, as you hear the crowd just roar in applause.
And since we established last week it's going to be a shorter show, as the crowd is showering the applause, the curtain falls, and I head backstage.
All right, Thunder, you just saw one big show. How do you feel?
Thunder he'd be clapping, and he'd be smiling, and completely amused with the act that he saw. He would approach the stage if allowed. Can he?
He can approach the stage. He just can't actually climb on top of it.
Yeah, and I'll say, uh, pardon me, sorry. Don't mean to be
Well,
rude.
the curtains dropped too, though.
Ah, damn. All right, come on. All right. Never mind then. I'll wait. I'll wait till he. If I see the magician man walking around, I was gonna ask him because that didn't seem like normal. Regular average street magic. You know what I mean? There seemed to be a little something supernatural about that.
There. So. Okay, as the crowd is slowly starting to disperse, the showman on the side is announcing that the next show will happen in about 15 minutes. Let's see. With Derek, he is redirected back to his room. You are soaked to the bone in water, but otherwise you appear all right. You're walked right back into your changing room as the door shuts behind you. Your assistant can be heard on the other side. Please hurry and get dried, sir. The next show should start in 15 minutes. As you hear feet just scurry away.
Okay. Right, so I'm basically drying off. The room itself has black windows, which is for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And
because the paparazzi, of course, right?
Of course. And also, it's a casino. They don't want you to know what time of day it is. Which is why it's a very good haven. And yeah, but I'm dried off. I'm kind of just sitting, lounging. The door is unlocked and open, and I'm just kind of relaxing after a show that went well.
Okay, as you get a nearby towel and start drying off, you hear a voice behind you. That was one hell of a show. As you turn your head, you see that it's Marcus sitting in a chair near the corner, beer in one hand as he looks at you intently.
See, Marcus, it's been a day. I believe you told me that we were meeting some associates of yours. Well, now, where are they?
Well, they were supposed to be here, but it looks like they had a few issues with directions, as it appears. He grumpily gropes at the bridge of his nose, and he says, a few of them had a few run-ins on the way here, but they are still here. If need be, I'll have to have them directed towards this room. Now, I would say that you wait here, and I will go get them.
Absolutely.
So I guess you can go back to drawing yourself, he says as he gets up, just dusting his shoulders. And he starts making his way to the door. And he stops and he looks over you and he says, by the way, nice, once again, good show, but would be nicer if you came out of there completely dry, but what do I say? What do I know?
Wow.
And he then just walks out of the room.
But then it looks fake.
Back in Olympus, Vander is hanging around the edge of the stage still, the show already being minutes over by this point. The crowd is mostly dispersed, but it's still a little bit tight in places here and there, like little pockets of people.
Alright, well, I'm gonna walk around looking for the two people that I'm supposed to be teaming up with. Well, who were they, and what were their descriptions again?
You weren't given a description. You were just told that you would meet them up with them here, and that that you quote would know them when you see them.
I don't know about that, man. We'll see.
At that moment, though, you feel someone brush up against you. It looks like a shorter gentleman. He whispers a sorry and walks away. Real quick,
Check my pocket.
you notice that there's a few dollars missing.
I let it slide.
Did you check behind your ear? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
It's still wet.
Oh, and I'll actually let me see here. I guess it. Okay, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm still gonna. Roll an intelligence and awareness. Two difficulty.
Let's see. It is. You said intelligence, which is 3. I think you said what else? The composure.
Awareness.
Ugh. Alright, so 5. And then my hunger is not good. I think it was 3. No, it's a 2. Alright, so I got 4 successes.
Alright, so you fish around in your pockets again, just making sure. And then you notice with a bit of dread that your Nokia is missing.
I take a deep breath. I'm never going to survive. No. Alright, whatever. Shit. Okay. And I'm at the casino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a gift shop?
There's a what's the term? Yeah, there's an exchange center off on the side for tokens for an exchange center for chips currency.
Damn it. Alright, never mind. I ain't worrying about it. Too late. I got gypped. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and just go over to the bar, grab my wallet, and move it up to my upper jacket pocket. And I'll hold like, you know, $20 in my hand and walk up to the bar and order like a drink, and then like I'll order like a Long Island iced tea or something like that, and you know, just make it appear as if I'm drinking, and just kind of like hanging out, waiting, watching, scoping out, looking for anyone who might be of any undead, like kindred, like myself.
You get your drink and you just lean back against the bar, your eyes scanning over the many crowds. Yes, while it is good enough to make out the people on the current level, on the second level, the lights kind of get in the way of your vision. In just a sec, though, you hear a voice say, "You're a little bit easy to jip, you know that?" And you look to your side and see Marcus is at the bar, facing towards it, and sitting right beside you.
Okay. I'll say, uh, when you have everything. They're eating a little corn chip I gave them. What? They like the corn chips. Sorry, my dog was eating a corn chip. Um, but I'll say, when life is nice enough to give you more than others, why worry about something so small? They probably need it more than me.
Interesting viewpoint, he says. Though he looks up to you with a bit of scorn. But just hope that you don't have anything that could break the masquerade on your phone.
My friend, I can barely even access my phone. What makes you think that there's anything valuable on there?
Fair point. You see him fish into his pockets before pulling out your Nokia, as damaged as it was from the last stream,
Wait,
and hold it out to you.
what bum had this one?
Above my heart to frisk you so that you would follow him for it.
Oh, was I supposed to follow? Was I? I'm sorry.
Normally, people are a little bit more tight with their belongings, he says.
I'm a little bit more humble.
In either case, he says, taking a sip of his own drink at the bar, it looks like things are a little bit mixed up. I'm having to fish for everyone tonight. You will have to be escorted to the dressing rooms in the back of the casino. That is where you and the rest of the crowd will meet.
Yes, sir. Right away.
All
I
right.
will stand up and start making my way to the back.
All right. You don't see any. You don't see any opposition to you as you make your way to the back. You get a few curious looks, seeing someone looking like you, just casually walking in there when it's typically staffers and waiters going and dealers going in and out.
Mhm.
But you make it and make your way in all right. And as you go along, as you go in the back, you start to make your way. You see a whole wall of what looks like dressing rooms.
Mhm. Mhm.
And as go ahead.
No, be my guest. Go ahead.
As you scan over them, you see one door in particular has a scratch near the doorknob.
I'll go to that one.
Right, you stand in front of the door, and on the door is a star, and below that star is the name Derek Bergnom.
Is that one of the people that I needed to meet up with?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go ahead and walk on in.
All right, all right,
Actually,
Derek.
no. I'm gonna knock 3 times. Give it a 10-second beat. Okay, and then knock
Alright.
one more time.
Yeah, Derek, you hear a series of 3 knocks and a single knock after a pause.
It's open. Enter.
Alright. So, now, Thunder, you are given the permission to enter the room. And as you walk in, you see a man who was just on the stage earlier and looks like he's still a little bit damp after the show. Let's see. There we go. Yep. And to Derek, you see someone is standing you see a man standing right at the door with a broken Nokia or what looks like a broken Nokia, in his clutched hand as he looks at you.
You one of Marcus's friends? No?
Ender?
Oh my gosh, I've been talking for a minute and didn't realize my mic has been muted for like the past 5 minutes. So like, I actually asked you twice. So what does your character look like exactly?
I don't know if you can see the character art on the stream, but anyway, he looks a little bit like that. He does have
Okay.
the thin mustache. He's wearing a pretty fancy robe with a lot of embroidery on it right now. If you look very carefully, you can see that he's extremely pale, but he's been slathering on the fake tan, so he's almost orange, kind of like a George Hamilton, David Copperfield orange. He's trying to blend in with the natives in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
He has a pair of half moon wire rim spectacles, which no lenses in them, which he has down at the bottom of his nose. And he has his fingernails painted black, and he's kind of just staring at them.
In front of you see a very casual businessman, very tailored shoes and pants and shirt, with a button up that's been unbuttoned, and you see like the tie has been kind of like loosened up a little bit, and as the picture for Thander on the stream looks, he looks like that. His facial hair has grown in just a little bit, like he hasn't shaved in like 2-3 days, probably because of business situations. And he has a longer tailored rain jacket, like a black rain jacket that goes with that room. He's got a nice watch on, a couple of rings, and he looks over at you and he says, "Ah, you are the gentleman on the stage. I thought I noticed a few things that were off. The name is Thander, and it's a pleasure. What brings you to Vegas? Are you ask if I'm Marcus's friend? We're working together. I figure, based off of him sending me to you, that we might be working together as well. What's your name, might I ask?"
Just call me Derek.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Derek.
Likewise, Xander. I was given to understand you would have a companion.
Is, she,
Yeah, if you remember, just a quick note for anyone who doesn't remember, Thander and Dream got separated after she had a mental breakdown from the previous session.
I'll say politely that she is, she's taking care of personal business. And she will not be with us tonight. Or hopefully her personal matters will cease and she will be back with us in good fashion. But as of right now, let's do what we can with what we have. Where is Marcus? You said that there was another here. I do believe.
Yeah.
At that point, do a quick transition to Miss Miss Heaven Darling. You're currently sitting in your table.
Tommy, I think they're eating his food.
Hold on, give me a second. My dogs, I think, are eating my son's food.
All right. So currently, Heaven Darling is sitting at her table. Her faithful assistant Yogurt is sitting right beside her, and the currently almost catatonic Dream are just across the table. She can barely utter any words as she is just sitting, just sipping from her small container, which has just recently been filled with a patch of blood, just so nobody can see what she is drinking. Yeah, Yogurt right now is just sitting in his chair, just irritably tapping his foot on the floor, looking around, very tense. Where's this guy we're supposed to meet?
I don't know. Do you know what he looks like?
I can't say, Miss Evan, he says. Most I could say is that it was just orders straight from the top.
Well, what kind of preposterous nonsense is that?
Hard to say, man.
Well, go and find this person and tell him to come see me.
As you wish, ma'am, he says, as he starts to stand up. Before he can take 2 steps, though, he runs right into a tall, shaved head man sitting in front of him. The man looks between the two of you and he says, "You two have business here?" Yes.
Pardon?
He looks over to you, Evan.
Who are you?
I would have. The man just gives us a pained expression before he looks at you and says, "Miss Evan, I was the person who sent you that message. Marcus?"
So you are Marcus.
Yes.
So why are
He
you
says-
asking my gentleman what business we are doing here if you asked for us?
Well, for one thing, it's a very odd setup. I assumed that you would have met up with the other agents in this operation, but
What other agents?
The ones I listed in that message I sent to you. Yeah, well, you hear Yoger speak up. Maybe next time you ought to be a bit more descriptive, then we'll know them when we see them. Marcus barely pays him any mind as he looks to you, Evan, and he says, "In either case, you are to meet up with the other agents in the back rooms in the dressing room. I left
And
a
where
mark.
is? Oh, sorry.
You will find the dressing rooms in the door just beside the stage in the back. And you will find a dressing room with a mark on it that you can enter from."
What kind of a mark?
"A scratch on right beside the doorknob," he says.
All right.
Sorry,
All right,
I'm
come
back.
on. Come on, Yogurt. Come, darling. Snap out of it. Come follow with us.
Yogurt
Alright,
gives
sorry.
it.
Oh, I thought I was yogurt.
Yogurt just gives a small snarl as he walks away from Marcus. But then Marcus looks down and sees Dream still in her rather reclusive state. And he asks, "She gonna be okay?"
I snapped at her to follow with us.
And she gets up with a start and gets closer to Heaven, looking anxiously at Marcus, but still trying to appear composed. Marcus doesn't really say anything as he watches Dream dart over to beside Heaven, but just grunts a bit as he walks into the crowd. "Remember, back rooms," he says.
I'm gonna kind of slit my eyes and look at him. and continue walking towards the back rooms. I'm going to put my arm around Dream to kind of like sort of put my wing around her and protect her.
She nervously clings to you, just trying to shy away from everyone else as you make your way towards the back rooms. And Yoger is just right behind you, zoning over the crowd, making sure nobody gets too close.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you make your way over to the doors and you open them up. You got a few odd stares here and there, but otherwise, everyone left you alone. And as you walk into the back rooms, you eventually come across a small hallway with a bunch of dressing rooms, a bunch of dressing rooms just along one wall. And as you scan the many doors, you see one with a scratch mark right beside the doorknob. Above it, you see a star, and below that star, you see the name Derek Bergnom.
Knock the door, please. Excuse me.
Yogurt gives a bit of a discontented sigh as he leans over and gives a knock.
It's still open.
He gives you a bit of a discontented look before he reaches down, grabs the doorknob, and holds it open. He then stands at the side, bows slightly, and holds his arm up and says, "This way, madam."
So I'll walk in with Dream. Yes, we were
And
instructed to meet with you, and I'm not sure why.
as soon as you and Dream walk in, Yoger immediately follows and quickly but quietly shuts the door. And as you walk in, you see the two other individuals, Thander and Derek.
I'm just gonna cross my arms and kind of like peer down my nose at everybody.
Madam, can I help you?
Help you? I was summoned to you to help you.
Friend of Marcus?
Yogurt, talk to the gentleman. I cannot be bothered.
He gives a grunt as he walks up, and he says, "Less so friend, more so just an acquaintance in this case. You directed here too, or what?"
I didn't catch the last part.
Or were you sent here too, or what?
I reside here, but I was told to meet this gentleman. Indicates Thunder here. So here we are.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And Younger looks over to Thander, a sneer still on his face, and he just gives it one more small snarl, and he says, "And I thought we were dinosaurs."
Beg your pardon?
Nothing, ma'am. He clears his throat and with a small jump stands completely tall, trying to look formal. In a moment, oh shoot, sorry, pull off my headphones for a sec. And a sudden moment, you hear another knock at the door.
Somebody going to get that?
Were we expecting anyone else?
Well, this is in my room. I'm not going to answer it. Yogurt does all of my door opening for me.
I ask again, were we expecting anyone else?
No.
Okay. They seem rather insistent. I get up, walk over, open the door.
Before you do, I immediately pull you back, grab you and say, "No offense, but I can take a bullet better than you can," and pull you back, and I will answer the door. With my hand up, kind of at the same level as my face, like my arm. So somebody is going to open the door and pull a gun and shoot me in the face, or someone in the face. At least I will throw my hand up to try and stop some of the brunt of the damage. The only reason why I'm doing this, okay, is because I don't want any of y'all to get shot. If we do get shot, I have fortitude. I can stop some of the physical damage that's going to hit us. And kind of like
Okay.
so
Was
that
that out of? Was that like DM description or was that character description?
that was me just being like, look, let me handle this. I could take it more than you can. And you knowing,
okay.
and you knowing that I'm a, like, because y'all probably been told that I'm a Ventru, know that I probably have like a quality of fortitude.
As soon as you open the door, as soon as you open the door, and you have your eyes shielded, your entire face shielded with your arm, you just hear a familiar voice say, "Or is this some sort of routine, or?"
Oh, I'm not like shielding my face. Like I can still see the door. My hand is there, so that way if somebody does pull a gun out, I can like quickly like throw it up to protect my face.
You see Marcus standing at the door. He gives you a weird look as he sees your stance. But then he gets a look for his.
I thought Marcus was already in the room with us, dude.
No.
Oh, he wasn't? Okay.
No, he was out there fetching everyone.
Okay.
So he quickly walks in past Thander, and then he turns over to you, seeing that your hand is still on the doorknob. You want to close it?
Sure. Sorry, I just, everything going on in this city, I didn't know if you were someone else and had a gun. And that's why I closed the door.
Well, anyway, he says as he sits in the corner. So we're all here together now, correct?
Yes, sir. You brought us here.
So, as you know, another murder happened. Says this one not too far from the last one, supposedly a lot messier. He looks over to Thander and asks, "Were you able to get any details?"
The most that we were able to grab from the last time and this time is that these are intentional breaches of the Masquerade. They're doing it to draw attention to our kindred. And if it continues, we're looking at a serious breach, and I don't know how to handle that. We can't have a second Inquisition on our hands.
No, we cannot. He leans on one of the tables, scratching at his chin, deep in thought.
The humans are clearly looking at us.
They are.
They're very suspicious.
And if it keeps going on, this operation will turn into a disaster.
Oh, it's going to be completely a waste of our energy and resources.
Well, they're not supposed to know that we exist. Is there any evidence of how to find this person?
They know. They know we exist.
Oh, they do?
Yes. The United States government has known that vampire kindred kind have existed long before the 30s.
So government knows what the people don't know.
Correct. And there is a government organization that is tasked with finding those of us within society and eradicating us.
Okay.
There is also a...
Sorry, I needed a bit of history there.
It's quite all right.
It's been a while.
You might have forgotten. It's quite all right. It's been some
I have
time.
ADHD, jazz hands.
But, A while ago, there was the crusade, as you are fully aware, where the churches went around and massacred multiple vampire covens, massive establishments, and governing bodies, and completely eradicated all kindred in countries, and they did a great deal of damage to us. The Camarilla were the ones that gave this information to the humans, hoping that they could snuff out their opposing factions, and in doing so, they were successful. But by doing so, revealed to the humans that we, in fact, were real. All of their fears and suspicions were true. Now, they have believed that they have diminished us to the ranks of bottom feeders. And we like to make them think that that's the way it is, when in reality, we're the ones who control the world. There's a Ventru, a Tremere, a Toreador, sitting at the top of every global economical masterpiece. Every country, every city, every business, everywhere. There's nowhere we can't go, there's nowhere we aren't. And they fear that. So, they hunt us down, and they wage war. And it's our job as vampires, forgive me, as kindred, to see to it that they never find us. In the past, the Masquerade was...
Fragile.
was fragile, is a great terminology, yes. And because of this, it made it a system of guidelines. Something that you could follow, you didn't have to. And there were two factions, the Sabbat and the Camarilla. Camarilla, the most common, did a great job of driving the Sabbat away. But by doing so, it created a large tear, a wedge, where a large group of people didn't agree with the Sabbat, didn't agree with the Camarilla. And what ended up happening was at the convention of, I believe it was Thorns or Roses, I can't remember. At the convention, they split, and these factions fractured apart, thus creating the Anarchs. The Anarchs believe in freedom of state, so to speak. Each group, each vampire coven, so to speak, is entitled to their own territory and their own free will, where the Camarilla believe in one prince or queen, well, no, princess, that essentially controls one territory and rules over it with an iron fist. What we're dealing with here is a serious breach of our code. Stay hidden, stay safe. One girl just so happens to be, it was the Olympia, right? It was the Olympia.
Olympus.
Olympus's, the owner's daughter was murdered, right?
Let's see.
It was Olympus, right?
I'm pulling up. I have my notes up and right here. I'm sorry.
I don't have my notes right here, so I can't tell you. But it's basically, I explained that there was a rather horrific murder of a young girl that is the daughter of a well-known proprietor and owner of a incredibly prestigious casino within Las Vegas. She was murdered violently, viciously. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I found the notes. No, the owner with the murdered daughter does not own Olympus. He owns a separate casino.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I basically say, like, her father owned, one of these prestigious casinos and blah blah. But nonetheless, right. So her throat had been torn out, and there were clear evidence of 2 vampire bites on her neck. This is going to draw the ire of the Inquisition, and they are going to either show up and start investigating. We've noticed humans that have been associated with um, with those kind of fanatic organizations here within Vegas. Um, we can use this opportunity to our advantage in some way. I don't think that it would be wise to just outright reveal the vampire threat here to them, but if we salt and pepper our way in, we could reveal their locations and not ours. But we have to be careful, because if we expose too much, then we ourselves will have nothing to rule over. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But most of us thought it was a murder of a casino owner's daughter here in Vegas. Can we just make it look like the mob did it? And let the whole thing blow over?
That's the
With
thing.
2 vampire bites in her neck?
That's
We
the
can
thing,
falsify that, I'm sure.
is Camarilla own the mob here in the city of Angel? No, that's Los Angeles. um, in the Camarilla own the mob. They own everything. They own almost every single casino on the strip. They own the government. They own the police. They are the police. They're the FBI. Some at least are. There's a lot we can do here. We just need to stop and make a decision and follow up with it. But we also need to make sure that we're covering our tracks. Because if we slip up at any time and we reveal ourselves, we're dead. You two are new to the city, and you should probably introduce yourselves to the Prince of Vegas. If you do not, it would be a great crime, and they could have you essentially killed and or exiled. And yes, we are anarchs, and they are Camarilla, but we should still show them the respect that they deserve and pretend to be what they are until we can truly be ourselves. Basically, don't bite the hand that feeds you is my attitude.
And that'll be an attitude that we can go with, you hear Marcus say.
The Prince of Vegas should introduce himself to me. I'm an empress.
Man, it doesn't work that way.
And
Unfortunately not.
And you do not want to get in the way of the sheriff.
Well, that's
Hear
not
Marcus
my
say.
problem. Tell me about these 2 bites. Do you think it was 2 bites from the same mouth, or do you think it was 2 separate bites?
So what we were
like, who are we looking for here? A person or persons?
So I was able to pick up on some things after speaking with a few individuals. We were able to determine that this individual is in fact a male. It is a man. We're not sure if they're... We know that they're not young. We know this for certain. But they may be middle-aged or elderly. Very secretive. They tend to be sneaky and sly. and they're able to get away rather quickly. Um, I wouldn't say necessarily a Nosferatu, but it could potentially be that stealthy hit and run. It could just be a ploy, a tactic to remove some individuals out of power within the Camarilla, but we can't be too certain. We do know that this individual had been wearing what appeared to be some. It was like a homeless clothes. Like it was like they looked like a homeless person because they were like hanging out underneath the bridge, like where like all the homeless people hang out, right? And that's when they like
Well,
they, like
the witness that you came across was someone who was blind, who
yeah.
only was able to listen on the conversation.
Okay. Never mind then.
You got most of it right, but it's just not the stuff that revolves around visuals. The guy only heard like passing conversation from the supposed murderers
Yeah.
or murderer. In the case,
But I'll tell you guys everything that Thander knows. That the first victim, like I'll tell him like the location. I'll say we can go back to the location tonight and kind of scope it out. There was nothing like big that stood out at each location, and we were contemplating about playing with the idea of like what if this was like these people had gotten like attacked prior and then they just like their bodies were dumped. You know what I mean? Because we haven't gotten access to the actual bodies themselves.
about that, here Marcus interrupts. Have you gotten any progress in that regard? Finding those bodies might be the next thing for us to do.
I mean, we can swing by the morgue, but I have no documentation or, you know, there's going to be cameras and I can't protect myself from everything. And it seems like Dream's going to be is having one of her fits, so she's MIA.
It would be in our best interest if you could get to the morgue before any of the Camarilla's agents. Whatever you can find there, we might need to keep from them.
Would you like us to head there now?
You know which morgue it is?
No.
That's one problem, he says. On top of that, we need the proper authorization. Let me work it on my end, he says. In the meantime, it would probably be a good bet to see if you would all check out the previous crime scenes.
Well, if you can't get the authorization, couldn't we just charm our way in?
That's what I was going to do.
Well, we don't know if whoever is in the morgue is in league with the Camarilla or not. That's a problem with the situation. We are stepping around eggshells. We need to play it safe. Now,
would all of you like to go back to the first crime scene? No one's there anymore. You can take a look at it.
I'll follow behind you.
Maybe work your you know, that stuff you do. And I'm like looking at Craig, looking at your character. Like, you know, you just do that stuff you do.
Kind of.
Well, that rather depends on how fresh things are.
Well, we can always see. It's always better to have more than one pair of eyes.
Indeed.
So, anyway, I'll go over and I'll like pick up the the Nokia off the table, and like I'll start like trying to like button mash the power button, trying to turn it on. I'm like, this fucking thing, and it turns on. I'm like, ah, yes, it's working. And then I'll turn to like the two of you and I'll say, do y'all know how to work this thing?
I will leave you to that. Marcus says as he starts to make his way towards the end of, towards the door, opening it up.
I need to make a
Hey.
call.
Before he walks out the door, he grabs his cell phone, looking at it. He says, "Who are you trying to call?"
Dubstep. He's outside. I just wanted him to pull up for all of us so that way we can make our way out. You all don't mind riding with me, do you?
I have a car. Why don't you ride with us?
All right.
Yogurt, go get the car, darling.
This will be fun. Does Yogurt know how to use one of these things? And I'm like holding the phone and like wiggling it back and forth.
Yogurt snarls, snatching the phone, and as he looks at it, he says, "It's Yogurt."
Yogurt. I like that even better. That's cooler. I've got to ask. You know, what do you two like to do for fun? I guess we'll start walking out and heading towards the car. We'll like fade to black as we're like standing out by the street. It's like three awkward like immortals, just like like one person's probably like staring at a light. The other guy's like sitting there staring like down the street, watching the cars come and tapping his foot. And like I guess like Sonata's character is probably just standing there like ruffling her clothes back and forth, like waiting for the car to pull up. That'd be hilarious.
And Dream is just sitting on the curb, just playing on her phone, still trying to distract herself and calm down. And just a moment though, you guys start hearing what sounds like blares of music. And in a moment, you see a vehicle pull up, and the window starts rolling down, and you see Dubstep's monotone face peek over. "Good evening, sir," he says as he looks over to Thargus. Vander, sorry.
It's okay. I'll say, hey, Dubstep, my good bud, my man. Look. I mean, no offense, but I'm riding with them. If you could just follow behind, at a safe distance, and just just be on standby. I don't know how to call, so.
"It is never a good feeling to be replaced, sir," he says, with a
Whoa.
very small hint of humor.
Whoa, you are not being replaced. You are not being replaced at all. Like have no fear.
"It is just dry humor, sir,"
Oh.
he says. "In either case, I received a call from Marcus. He said that Lady Dream was in the middle of an episode and that I should come pick her up and direct her back to our casino."
What's even better? Dream, here, here, yep. I like snatch the phone out of Dream's hand. She probably hisses at me, and I just toss it into the car, and she like probably jumps into the back seat after it like a cat.
And as soon as she does, the door just closes. It's just closed calmly by Dubstep as he looks over to you. "Very good, sir. I shall see to it that she gets back to the casino and gets proper rest." He then turns to the other three: Derek, Yogurt, Heaven, and Yogurt. I keep on saying his own name wrong. Yogurt, Heaven, and Derek. We're giving a small bow, and he says, "Good evening. Have a safe night." Before he gets back into his vehicle, the dubstep music's still blaring out as the window goes up and he drives away. And a few minutes later, you see Heaven's limousine immediately pull up, and from the door, the young usher walks out, keys in hand, as he holds them out. Here's your limousine, ma'am. He says, hand outstretched.
Hey, would y'all be interested in taking a break at 8:30?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think tonight's game's gonna go on too much longer. It's a little bit jumbled up on my notes.
It's okay.
Probably about 9 o'clock. Probably be our
9.
best.
Well, okay. Okay, like 9, maybe a little bit after 9. A little.
Yeah, my notes are just a little bit out of place because I was hoping
Look,
that everybody would be around.
Go get you some whiskey. Okay. Massage the temple. Okay. Stir the glass. Take a sip. Come on back and come back for a refresh. Let's let you know, wrangle that monster back on up.
Right.
All right. Anyway, so I guess we're sitting there. So what is Sonata? What does your car look like? So like this thing pulls up, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a limousine. Any further description?
The windows are like completely opaque. Like you can't see them because there's some blocked from the inside just in case. It's a modern limousine, so it's got and it actually one minor thing it has that most modern limousines don't is a CB radio that is sub-mounted under the dash.
Nice.
She has this thing where she likes to listen to the truckers.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought you were going to say you like listen to cops.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's pretty cool.
It's just a weird thing that she picked up in like the 70s.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just a modern limousine. It's very comfy. It's got full bar. It's got like little runner lights along the floor. It's got the seats in the back kind of fold down flat so she can lay down if she wants to rest. She's got these cushioned pillows that sort of like curl around her like a throne. Yogurt usually drives, and if anybody's sitting, it's usually in the reverse middle seat, and they're kind of on their own. Like there's arms that sort of fold down, that they can rest their hands on if they want to. But yeah, there's a television in the back.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Valen would probably get in. Not Valen, not Thander. Sorry, getting mixed up. Characters mixed up. Thander would probably get in the back and just be like completely amazed at like the size and complexity of like the TV in the back of the limo. He's like, holy crap, that thing is cool.
All right, and as you get into the back seat, Yogurt, with the keys in his hand, walks to the driver's seat, getting in, putting him in, and starting the vehicle up. He then looks over to the back, looking over to Thander, and he says, "You seem to know where we're supposed to go. Can you give directions?"
Yeah, and I'll proceed from here on out, just kind of like directing the driver to go to wherever they need to go.
All right, and after a little while, you eventually find yourself on the lower end side of town, back to not too far distance away from your casino, as you stop in front of the alley where the first murder took place. By this point, it is faintly deserted, but save for a few people who dart through a bit here and there to take a look in, probably roused up from the second murder and come by to look to see if there's anything special going on with it.
So wait, so like there's another cop, there's another cop
There's a few cops on the patrol, but they're just like a few. There are a few of the locals who kind of glance in there, looking around before they walk away.
I mean,
Okay.
what you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. So like, we'll pull off like a block away and walk up, and I guess discreetly like go hang out near the entrance. I mean, what do y'all want to do? I mean, hell, y'all could just say heck with what what I'm saying. Haven, Derek.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Okay. So just to reiterate, we're about a block away from the first crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're at the first crime scene.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're like right at, well, I'd say yeah, we're like walking towards it. We can just say we're doing that if you want to be
Okay.
discreet,
Right, and it's basically abandoned at this point.
Well, save for a few curious individuals walking in to look around to see if they could find like the smoking gun or whatever they think of.
Bullet casing.
Okay. Well, it's still night. Figure I'm not really going to be recognized with most of the people here, so I'm going to walk over and take a look myself, and if anybody asks what I'm doing, I'll say it's for a podcast.
That's clever. That's actually pretty clever.
So as you make your way into the alley, once again, you see that it's roughly the same, minus the cops, but just an occasional vagrant here and there. It looks like it used to be a popular place for like maybe an occasional drug deal here and there. It was silent after the killings, but now the people are starting to kind of walk in and out of it again now for whatever reasons. As for the trace of the crime scene, all that's left is the very, very faded body mark on the ground.
So there's like a body mark, kind of like on the like an outline, like where like the spray paint was or whatever, where they marked it. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh well, hey, Sonata, thank you for gifting a 1-tier sub to Valen. Woot woot. And then Gothic Storm, thank you for your subscription. That's awesome. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you for chiming in and watching us. But I think what we'll do is we'll just go over and I'll just be like, hey, you guys, like, this is where the first body was found. Like, the police were like looking over here by this trash can. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just kind of like show them around and kind of like give them the details, the deets.
Okay.
So, Derek, what have you sniffed out?
Yoger is just looking along, sniffing again.
I don't have the camera on.
Yeah. His face is kind of scrunched up. He smells and he says,
There's a faint smell of blood still, he says. Faded, but yeah, there's a body here. He looks around here and there, sniffing. As for the body sense, it seems he looks a little bit troubled as he smells. A few people already walked in here. A few new smells, a few old smells. Pinpoint.
He then goes over to the ground, to where the mark is, and he gets on one knee, leaning over, sniffing it. I'm getting a scent. First one, feminine, bit of perfume. That's probably the victim. I'd say early 20s. Okay. And he looks up a little bit, still sniffing the air. I sense two individuals. He pauses for a bit, still analyzing the sense, before he says, "Oh, they're kindred." So that's what I've got. He says as he stands up. I can't tell you what it means, but that's about what I can take from it.
Oh wow, Gothic Storm! Thank you so much, man. You just started following us and you just subbed to us for your first month, man. Like, thank you so much. Thank you. Like, hang out, like, talk to us in the chat. We really appreciate you being here. But yeah, so Thander will turn to Derek and he'll say, um, what what is your, magic telling you?
See,
Like, Theodore will hang out near like the entrance of like the alleyway and like pull a cigarette out and like I guess he's gonna like kind of like play defense for you guys while you guys kind of like do your thing out in the alleyway, and he's just gonna like kind of be hanging off at like a distance, like enough to like talk to you guys, but like at like a safe distance. But like if anybody tries to approach the alleyway, he's gonna use his vampire abilities to kind of like be like, oh nah, yeah, it's cool, we're cool here, go on, get.
right. Okay. Since this isn't particularly fresh and Yogurt was able to detect some of the odor, Derek would like to use his Bloodhound ability to try and see if he gets any resonance from the olfactory of the blood, and see if they can detect anything other than the female's presence.
All right. Let me see real quick. One sec. Bloodhound.
It's an advantage in merit.
Yeah, I'm using it right now. I'll go grab
It's... Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look. Okay. Okay, as you sniff the blood, or not sniff, you just as you use your scent on the blood, you do detect that it is mainly of the female's blood. But you also recall that from the reports on television and on the internet that the woman was apparently just one big blood spot on the ground, like covered in pool of blood. You don't really smell that strong a scent of blood from it either. Like, it's not like a massive bloodbath. It's like, say, a small puddle of blood, not as big as how they're describing it.
Okay. Kind of going to mention to Thunder and Empress Heaven Darling that it feels like there should be more blood here. Something is off about the victim, let alone the killer.
You said it's the blood of the victim?
There isn't enough of it.
I'm sorry?
There isn't enough of it.
It's probably because they ate it.
They would still be present.
At that moment, Thander, could you roll another intelligence awareness? Difficulty 3.
Yeah. Oh, this one's harder. Oh no. Okay. 3 successes.
All right, you just barely passed. As you look around outside the alleyway, you see a small shadow just peek from over the corner. And like glance over at it, they were just hiding, but you just barely caught a glimpse of them.
All right, I'll walk over and I'll say, "Oh, hey!" and I'll use my awe ability to like draw their attention.
As you look over, you see that whoever was there is gone in just a second. Like whoever was just completely rushed off before you could get to that part.
Mm. What direction did they go out the alleyway?
To the right. And it looks like past the right, about less than a block away, is a four-way intersection.
I'll say to Derek and Haven, I'll say, "Hey, we've got somebody making a run for it. Should I chase them?"
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
All right, well then I'll
Well-
immediately bolt off and start chasing after the this roguish figure.
You take off, but as soon as you get to the intersection, you see that it's getting a little bit more crowded. As you see people walk back and forth, you see some people hanging out on the corners of the intersection. You see some people walking down to and from.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say at an immediate glance, you see about 20, 25 people doing their business.
Like I can't roll.
Wait, doing their business? Are they peeing?
Yeah, are they using the bathroom? What's going on?
Well, over in
What? Doing their business.
well, over in a side alleyway, you do see a very inconspicuous hobo just like bent
No, that
down,
poor
just
guy.
like look
That poor
like
homeless guy. All right, so I can't like roll to like, see anybody or anything. Meh.
Well, I'd say I know this is getting repetitive.
There's no
One more.
perception skill.
Let's see. Let me pull it up real quick. Where's my
Wouldn't awareness be perception?
yeah, that's
be.
what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, awareness could definitely be perception. That definitely sounds like something.
Yeah, so roll one more intelligence awareness check.
Intelligence awareness.
Zeke?
Yep.
Sorry.
You're good.
Who is this stray dog in this alley? Who does this dog belong to?
Oh, I did it wrong.
Right now, Heaven sees a very, very vicious poodle.
There we go.
Whose dog is this?
Whew.
That's Zed's dog,
Ooh.
baby. Who's Zed?
Oh my goodness. So this was not a critical fail,
Sorry.
but this was pretty bad. This is I did get one success. It is a success. But nothing real bad.
So okay, so just a failure.
No, it's a success. It's just one success.
Okay. You, how you're scanning, you can't really make out anyone. But you do see, in the reflection in one of the windows, you see what looks like a pair of eyes looking at you before immediately darting away.
Well, that could be anything. So it's like they're moving in like, and they, I saw their eyes reflecting through the window or something. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that was reflected off of the surface of the window, but you couldn't make out exactly where the reflection was
Okay, so they're
shown
like
from.
invisible. So it's definitely a Nosferatu. Okay, damn. Should I? And see, I can't like, I don't have the ability to like detect them. I don't have auspex, so I'm completely useless now. Tater tots. All right, I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna head
All right,
back.
as you get back, you see a Yoger just at the entrance of the alleyway, sniffing in the air, or he sees you come up.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, hey, Yoger. Um, hey, yeah, just keep an eye out. How is everything?
Relatively quiet, he says. And he looks at you and says, I guess you didn't catch the guy?
No, I did not.
Where did you say he was again? Where
And
did you see him?
I'll literally point to where I came from and everything.
Alright, he walks over there and starts to sniff the air again. Still catch their... I can still get their scent. I can get a description. Male... Probably mid to late 40s. Not kindred.
Then how's he invisible?
So it's a human?
What if it's a half-blood? What is going on?
Hard to say, but
This is the bum 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 moment.
Mm-hmm.
most I can say is that it is most definitely not full blood. I'd say
So somebody's trying to frame the vampires.
Hmm.
Interesting.
and he sniffs one more time. They smell a lot of cigarette smoke.
A male smoker in Las Vegas. Thank you for narrowing it down.
Yeah, for real, that actually gets rid of like half the people.
He just sneers over at Derek. And what do you have going for you?
What brand of cigarette was it? Smart.
Exactly. Pummels.
So he's a poor.
I can smell pummels from a mile away.
My father used to smoke those. That was me out of character. Sonata. My father, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfiltered though. Oh, it's so
Oh
gross.
my god. How could...
I know.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and it was back when I smoked, so if I was out and I had to borrow one, it was all like pit.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what I didn't quit till I moved to New York, because going out on a porch, because I refused to smoke inside the house, because it was weird. I was a smoker, but I couldn't stand the smell of it on my clothes or in my house. So I would go out on the porch, and the first -3-degree day, I was like, you know what? I don't fucking need these cigarettes anymore. So, anyway, back to the story.
That's about all I can get at the guy, he says. The very least, they're not a full vampire. I'd say they're human, but I can't be 100% sure.
This is a problem because if 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 they're getting our blood, then they can be using it to take on qualities similar to ours. Maybe it's not kindred. Maybe it's half bloods. Ah, gosh. Well, thin bloods. I mean, this is hard. This is definitely very difficult to figure out. I don't know exactly who it is. There's a lot of different angles being played here. Um, so it's a male smoker that isn't a kindred, but could possibly be a thin blood. Because I mean, they still do have to drink blood. But I don't. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts?
All I know is I don't exactly like talking about this stuff, but when surrounded by the smell of piss, you hear Yogurt say, "You said you own a casino around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we could relocate there."
Yeah, let's get on out of here. Is there anything else that any of you might need from this area?
I've been standing there with my handkerchief over my face. No. Let's please depart.
All right. Do you want to grab your do any of y'all want to grab any of your you know, drivers or whatever? I mean, dubstep is I unfortunately don't have one. I could walk home, but the sun's coming up.
What do you think I'm here for? You hear Yogurt say sarcastically.
Yogurt, darling, let's go.
Got it. He says very dryly as he makes his way over to the limousine. He opens the door for Miss Heaven. And as you're good.
What an adorable little child.
As she makes her way into the
Such
limousine.
a good thing I don't eat children.
Yeah, it is a good thing you don't eat children. I think your character and my character would have a problem with each other.
Definitely wouldn't be being the family.
I have to. That would just be untoward.
As Yogurt helps Miss Heaven into the limousine, he looks over to Thander and Derek and he says, "Are you coming? I'm going to need directions to that casino."
And I'd give him the directions.
Alright. And I assume you guys go into the limousine with him?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alright, as you go in,
You're making me question if I should even get in right now. Like, is the car gonna explode?
Well, I'm just saying, you have a slightly standoffish, pissed off ghoul standing there as the driver, looking at you all pissed off. Might be a little bit hesitant, but I don't know.
Yogurt is harmless. He's fine.
As you're driving away, you start to see the lights of your own casino as it's being built up. And then, as soon as he stops in front of the entrance, you all start to make your way out, and are now standing in front of the building. "I'll find a place to park," you hear Yogurt say. "Just wait up for me." As he shuts the window, he drives off and into the corner, going right behind the building.
So I guess we'll step out and go into the building.
Is the building open? Is there some kind of sign saying it's available to the public?
Who invited the clown show? Is this one of the acts?
To the casino. No, it's not open just yet.
Is there some invitation or something similar?
Do you need me to invite you in?
Indeed, I do.
Oh, you're one of the.
Those vampires.
Yeah. Interesting. You're more than welcome to come into my lovely establishment.
Glad to hear it.
Now I have a question for you. If I was to revoke your invitation, what would happen?
Well, I wouldn't be able to come back in, for certain.
Interesting. We'll have to try that out sometime, see what happens. I'm joking, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Hi, joking. I'm Derek.
Anyway, this is my casino. I've yet to figure out a name for this crappy piece of junk. It was the Gold Dragon or something like that. I just can't live with it. It, it was a piece of property that was purchased back in the 70s, and the whole Lucky Dragon Asian theme was the craze back in the late 70s, early 80s, and carried through into the early 90s. So this piece of property has come into my possession as of recent. And as you can see, and like you'd like look around as we're like walking around on the first floors, like new machines are being installed, like new carpet and chairs and lights and ceiling tiles and fans and cameras, just all this crazy stuff. You're seeing people walking around with actual like assault rifles and stuff.
Gesundheit, darling.
Thank you.
My Haven has a security system and a weapons locker. So whatever weapons we need, we can easily get from my Haven, which is this one as of right now. I have multiple facilities that we can go to.
So as you walk in, your head security guard, what was his name? Alex, I believe it was.
I never met him.
Well, your security officer. Yeah. Let's see. I swear to God, I had his name written down. Okay, yeah, so this will be a running theme at some point, like the security guard whose name always changes. As you walk in, the captain, Alex, is busy talking to one of his subordinates, but as he hears the doors open and close, he looks over to you. He waves off his security, then turns to you and says, "Mr. Thander, I hope your trip has been well."
It's been busy. What can I do for you, Alex?
Well, sir, you have a visitor. He motions over to one of the booths, and when you look over to it, you see the older-looking gentleman. Well, you see the small, nervous-looking man, Lil Benny.
Benny.
As he nervously taps on the table.
Well, I'll go slide into the booth and say, Benny, my friend. It's a pleasure
Where
to
are your
see you.
jets?
Would you like a cigarette? Don't mind their manners. Would you like a cigarette?
Benny looks away from me for a moment, looking over at Heaven and Derek, and asking, "Who the hell are they?"
I'll activate awe, so that way he's like looking at me. I'll be like,
Oh,
"Don't
he's
worry,
a vampire too.
Okay. All right, I didn't know that. I thought he was the half blood.
No. Well, is he have blood? I don't think I wrote him.
Or is he the No, he's the
He's a Tremere.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
I wonder if he's in the same chantry as Derek.
He still looks suspiciously at all. Then he looks over to Derek and is like, "Aren't you the one act at the casino?"
Among many other things, yes.
And he looks over to Heaven, and then between the two of you, and he says, "What the hell are you two doing in this dump?"
Here.
Sorry, I think your mic cut off a little bit. What'd you say?
I said I was invited here.
Like who?
Dander?
Hmm?
He looks. Benny looks over to Thunder, and he's like, "What? Are these two kindred?"
Why are you so rude, Benny? Just get to business. They're safe.
Benny looks over to them, and then back to me and says, "Okay, have you made any progress on the case yet?" Because right now, Kendall is getting shit from Montrose, and when he gets shit, I get shit.
Well, these two have to introduce themselves. Once they do, I called in some friends. I'm hoping that these two individuals possess qualities that I don't necessarily have that will definitely aid in this situation. I was able to find out that this individual that we're looking for is a male of some kind, uh, male human. Uh, uh, so definitely not young. He's not young. He's older, maybe middle aged or older, and they're definitely not kindred. But yet they do have kindred abilities, so I'm thinking that they're probably a thin blood.
Was it that one detective that I saw some reports about?
Hmm? No.
Was
I've avoided contact with any humans, um, and tried to do strictly a quiet observation, quiet investigation, so to speak. I haven't really spoken with him besides oh, hello, this is bad business. Like, it's a shame someone's died in the city. That's about as far as the conversation has gone with me talking to the police officers, if that's what you're asking.
uh okay, quick out of game session, out of game thing. If from the previous sessions, Dream was able to sneak around that detective and saw that he carried a silver cross on him.
Oh, well, I did Dreams share that, divulge
Yeah,
that
she did.
information?
She
Okay, well
did.
then I'd share that information.
So, okay, you see Benny have a mixture of emotions in his face. You can't really tell what they are. Most you can see is shock. And then he looks over to you and says, "Okay, then that must be our man right there."
Right where?
"Detective," he says. "If he's got a cross, he must be Second Inquisition or something. He's probably the one making these things happen."
You thinking he's just falsifying it, framing it, just making these things appear this way to build a case? But
Think, man. He says, if you know vampires are in a city, but you can't find the proof, what do you do?
Um, wait until you find some, so that way you have substantial evidence to make a claim, so that way you have founded evidence to make an actual case to get yourself a good career.
I
He,
think you.
he sh-
I think I hear you, Benny. You're saying he's manufacturing a reason
It-
to look.
he looks over to you. He says, "Yeah." He then looks back at Thunder. He's setting up a trail. So even if this wasn't a vampire attack, it could lead to investigators finding the rest of the coven.
He's manufacturing evidence. That's
Don't play. Don't play. Don't play around with me. He says, "This is serious."
well, look, okay. The best thing for us to do right now is to just keep an eye on him, lay low, and try to avoid his ire. Would you prefer us take care of him? The issue would be, though, is if we kill him, we'll only be shining a light on what he may have been making a case about.
Well, do what you can is all I can say. He says, what I want you to do is apprehend him. But if he does not comply, kill him as discreetly as possible." He says, "We need this covered up and fast. And I want you to report to me at any point if you have him."
All right. Will do. I don't know if I have your number, but I'm not really good with phones, so
I don't need.
I will do my best to get in touch with you.
Please do.
If you'll excuse me and my comrades, we have some business to attend to.
Good. I've got business of my own. Probably getting shouted at by.
Is the prince? Is the prince at? Is the
He's at the
prince
same place.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I have a few guests to make acquaintance with the prince.
I'll
Liz.
see to it that it's done.
Thank you. Now, as for Haven and Derek, we need, as we're like walking away, I'm like pulling y'all as far away from like him as possible and be like, okay, you need to see the Prince of Las Vegas for the Camarilla immediately. That was one of the Camarilla's agents, one of the sheriff's men, looking for assistance that has asked us to aid him in finding information about this incident.
The Prince of Vegas is the guy's man, or the person we just met?
The person that you and me just spoke to, Benny, is one of.
Oh, Vinny. I thought you said Benny.
No, it is Benny. It's Benny with a B, like a bird, like Benny.
Oh, okay.
So Benny is one of the princes of Vegas.
Mhm.
He is one of his underlings. The sheriff is Benny's boss. Okay. And the sheriff sent Benny to go out and look for information. Benny has come to me to get information out of me to go look for leads on what's going on with the case.
Okay.
So we We need to get out of earshot of Benny, and once we do, I'll tell you something.
They don't have like super hearing or anything.
He could. So we need to get to we'll get to like one of my
What
soundproof
if he wrote
rooms.
it down in front of me and then like just ate the paper?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that too. Let's just. I'd rather get to like a
I just
safe
want to
place
see you
where I
eat the
know.
paper.
No, that's not happening. So like, we go up to one of my office spaces that's like soundproof.
It's rice paper. It's okay. It's edible.
And yeah, and and like I pull up some rice paper and I scribble some words down, and you see it. No, I'm joking. But I would say
Dip it in some Mayploy. It's delicious. Trust me.
Benny works for the prince, and now
I still
that he's
eat the
seen
people's food.
2 unfamiliar faces, the Camarilla are going to have questions. They're going to be very curious about who you are and why you're here, especially why have you not come to see the prince. So it is required that the 3 of us go and you just make your presence known to him.
We have to
If
pay
you-
our respects or something.
Yes. Be as cordial and respectful as possible.
I outrank him.
It doesn't matter who outranks who. This is the way of the Camarilla. Even if we are not associated with them, we are attempting to undermine their dealings. We're attempting to gain a foothold and power here, and we cannot do so if we do not play the game.
Fine.
You know how things work. In time, things will be much more in our favor. But as of right now, we're playing a cat and mouse kind of game. So, let us all go and rest for the night. I have a few extra coffins in the cellar. You can go and crash with Dream. I have some business to attend to. There's computers and things and whatever over where Dream sleeps. You can, surf the web, do the dial-up thing with her over, there. So I need to get some rest. Do y'all need to get some rest?
Yes, I do believe so.
Alright. Sonner, I think we're gonna call game here.
Alright, just real quick, Benny, seeing that he's no longer being attended to, just growls a bit and starts making his way right out the front door right as Yogurt comes back in. And Alex looks over to you and says, "Okay, I guess you guys are going to hunker down for the night then. Just so you know, your friend Dream is in the basement doing what she does usually." But I'll bid you good night, sir, he says as he gets back to the station. And that... Sorry?
Where's my gentleman, Yogurt? Has he come up?
Yeah, he just walked back into the building.
Okay. Yogurt, show me where these beds are.
And I guess he'd lead y'all down to Dream's kind of like sanctuary area where it's actually really big. And I mean, she's got like a whole security area. We've got like a a massive safe for like money and all sorts of crazy valuables. That's and then we've got like another room where security is, and then another room where there's like literally a massive locker, like a 20 by 30-foot room with just guns and ammunition and you know like military grade body proof bulletproof armor. So
You
And
guys
even though it looks a little bit shabby, it is big enough to house everyone here. So it
This
is.
dustable. Has this even been dusted?
Let me check. You hear Yoger say as he wipes one finger on one of the blankets, holds it up, a thin layer of dust on his fingertip. He sighs and he starts walking upstairs. I will get your bedding equipment, ma'am, he says as he walks up, grumbling. And
so do we just fade to black from there?
yeah, we can just fade to black from there.